right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops and elders of Great Millstone, who teach and rule well, and peace and salutation unto the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of Yashar Allah, upholding the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. Peace and salutation. This is the brother Bakwasha, and I just want to cover a couple of scriptures that came to mind on the road, and just figured I'd put them on wax. And as brothers can see, man, Lord will, this is the year, the year of Jacob's deliverance, and the year of the destruction of Esau, the so-called white man, these other heathen nations, and 2/3 of our people. And so I just want to go into Isaiah, the 14th chapter. There's a couple precepts I want to pull from here, and Lord will, it'll be edifying for the elect. This is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. It says, "How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?" So when you go into that word Lucifer, it just goes into light bearer or light bringer. Okay, and that light here in this society is really Esau's philosophies, his doctrines, this system of debt in which he's created. Okay, and the reason why it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven," is because all the rest of these other heathen nations have extolled Esau as a god. He controls the money, he controls the military, he controls the religion, all of these things. He controls the fatness of the earth, right? So Esau's world that they live in is essentially heaven. Okay, it says, "How art thou fallen from heaven?" Because this is the glory of all kingdoms. Okay, this is the glory of the Chaldees. Okay, matter of fact, let me slide over here real quick. Commotion is always ensuing when you're doing the work of the Lord, All right. Let's grab this real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." So we're talking about that light bearer being Lucifer, Esau, the so-called white man, okay, and Babylon being this heaven that he's created, okay, of confusion, okay, to righteousness, but to those that are not anointed by Yahweh Shai Shai, this is their heaven. They're living it up. They fully digested this wine and philosophy of that light bringer, okay, which is Esau, the so-called white man. But that light is really darkness, okay? It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Okay? Back in Isaiah 14 and 12. Because like I said, I'm going to jump around here in Isaiah 14. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven? Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground? We just talked about that in Isaiah the 47th chapter. Babylon, there is no throne, right? It says, which didst weaken the nations. So that light, okay, that's being promoted to these people is really death. Okay, we can read that in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter in the 5th verse. Okay, but that's what weakened the nations. Okay, the gift of the sword, the rule of the economy, right? Caesar Borgia being uplifted across the globe. Okay, and then obviously, Job 9:24, the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, so why am I bringing it up? I'm bringing all that up through the Spirit because all of that wisdom that Esau had as far as light is concerned is no more. He's being revealed. He's being found out. Okay? And let me bring this out real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Because that's the light that they put before the world, using the dollar, now transitioning into digital currency, which is going to transition into the MO to the T to the B, right? Because that wisdom is now being revealed by the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see, because only the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai are giving warning to the people of prophecy, spoken of the MOT to the B. But that's also Esau's wisdom perishing. Because you got doomsday preppers, you got people that like Alex Jones that know all of these things are happening, but they can't pinpoint who is the culprit, Esau, the so-called white man, and what his agenda is, because only the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai can identify that Babylon is fallen, that there's no more light in Teman, and that Lucifer is being brought to the ground. Okay? So that philosophy that was once able to make the whole earth drunken, okay, people are sobering up. As a matter of fact, let's just grab that real quick. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. It's a spirit. I'm going to start at verse 1. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Why? Because these people are going to be blinded, drunk, okay, with the false light, okay, the sorcery, okay, of Esau. Because as scripture says, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. So that's what he's promoting to the people, okay, as truth, as you're the God. You change everything. There is no higher power aside from you. And so that's why it's going to be a thief in the night, okay, to these Babylonians. Because Yahweh Yahushua is returning to bring judgment. Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, this is Esau saying peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is bringing that destruction. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, not in confusion. Okay? Not drinking the wine or the light or the philosophies, okay, of Lucifer. 1 Thessalonians 5:4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because of prophecy, because of Yahushua. Verse 5, ye are all the children of light. So it's two forms of light. You got Esau, the light bringer, okay, of falsehood. And then you have the hopeful elect bringing the light of truth. Okay? That's so one is really darkness, and the other is true light. And that's why Esau is being revealed, because he doesn't have light. He has darkness. But it's in the appearance of light or of wisdom. Okay? It's man's wisdom. It's not the wisdom that of Yahweh Shemi Shai. Okay? 1 Thessalonians 5:5. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Yeah, and really that's the point. Let me see. Oh, verse 6. It says, therefore, let us not sleep, okay, as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Because when you drunk on this wine, matter of fact, I'm going to grab this word here, sober. When you drunk on these philosophies in this wine of Babylon, okay, that's how you don't know Yahushua is coming. That's how you trim your ways to seek love. Okay? That's how you go to your enemy for the want of all things, but you trust in the shadow of Egypt. Okay? When these are our enemies, man, it's evident. Okay? There has not been a time where Esau and we had alluded to it earlier in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. The soul which is in him is not upright. Okay? So that's not going to change. All right? So drinking that wine, drinking that philosophy is only going to bring more darkness into you. Okay? This is for the word here, sober.
Strong's G 3525. Napho.
It says to be sober, to be calm, and collected in the spirit. You see, that's children of the light. That's children of Yahushua. It's children of prophecy. Okay? When you know what's about to happen, you're not going to be caught unawares. Okay? You're going to be sober. You're going to be calm. You're going to be collected. It's not going to be something new. It's going to be something anticipated, something expected. Okay? It says to be temperate, dispassionate. Why? Because as Babylon is falling and all this chaos is ensuing, okay, people, the only people that are going to have wisdom and knowledge, as pursuant to Isaiah 33:6, are going to be the hopeful elect. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh Shemi Shai is his treasure. That's what's going to keep us sober. The wisdom, the light of Yahweh Yahushai. To be temperate, dispassionate, circumspect. Okay. Yep. So that's all I wanted on that. Let's bring this out. This is Isaiah 47 And I'm going to read verse 10. It says, let's start at verse 9. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment. Talking about the fall of Lucifer. Talking about the fall of Babylon. Talking about the fall of Edom. There's no more wisdom. Okay? Because that's the only reason why you've been able to weaken the nations. Fool them. Get them drunk. Okay? To where they're not sober. And that's exactly what would have happened to the elect. You know, matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Okay. This is Romans 11 and 4. It says, but what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Okay? Essentially, Babylon is an idol. That's what Baal represents. Idols of heathen nations. Okay? Or the philosophies or the light, okay, of those idols. But the hopeful elect have not and will not bow to that image. That's what keeps the elect, Lord willing. I'm a part of the elect, and Lord will, the men and those families, you know, that hear and believe, you know, on Yahweh Shai, you are also part of the elect. But that's part of the reason why you're sober. Okay? As the ensuing fall of Babylon occurs, okay, we're going to become, Lord will, more collected, more calm, more composed. Because all of these things are the light in which Yahweh Shai has given us of truth and of prophecy. Okay? That's the reason why, one of the reasons why we're not going to bow the knee to the image of Baal, nor take the M-O to the T to the B. Lord's will. Okay? Because we know what that leads to, which is death. But the Babylonians are going to run to it thinking it's light when it's really darkness. Okay? I'm going to jump down to verse 7. Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay? What were they blinded by? That light of Lucifer, that doctrine, that sorcery. You know, they were in confusion. Okay? They continue to live in accordance with these false narratives. Okay? Of Esau, the so-called white man, being this great, powerful, you know, entity. And we're just subservient people. You see? That's a philosophy. And when you buy into that philosophy, you're bought into a role. And that's why this truth is so beautiful, because the roles that Esau has, or stereotypes that Esau has put out there, we don't fit into any of them. And that's what's alarming. That's what's a threat. Because that means that we've returned to our identity, our nationality, our heritage. And that's the biggest threat, because now you don't assimilate to a heritage that's not yours. Okay? Yeah, and the rest were blinded, man. So I didn't want to make this too long-winded. But let me see. I might have a couple more left here real quick. This is Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. It says, and he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings. Esau, the so-called white man, being the king of the earth right now. Okay? And setteth up kings, and giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. Okay? So yeah, we as children of the light, we have that understanding. Okay? Which keeps us sober. Which keeps us stable. Okay? And the more Babylon falls, the more Israel rises. Okay? So, I had other precepts I wanted to go into, but, Lord will, like I said, that was beneficial and edifying for the elect. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.